All right, welcome back. Happy New Year 2024. Dan here, going to go through a couple trade reviews for my activity for today, January 3rd. My first day trading. I did not trade yesterday of the new year. Took a day off. Looking at testing out some different chart setups, building in some new time savers for myself. I'll show you those along the way. Looking at the 4-hour chart on the ES here, NQ on the right side. And looking at a setup here, had a bearish setup for the day. Looking for some continuation off of yesterday. We saw we had an amazing delivery from London sessions yesterday. If you didn't see that already, check that out for sure. That's a beautiful delivery. But so I started looking at that and just marking out a buy side liquidity on a 4-hour chart here. We're looking at doing some top-down review. Some buy side down here on a 4-hour. And looks like we had, I can probably duplicate that out. One there, and also one there. We'll tag those guys in there just for right now. One thing that's nice is you got swing low, so those are valid swing points. This one's already been hit. So I was looking for a price to get into this 4-hour fair value gap that was back from mid-December where that was formed. We've touched into it a couple times here. So technically we probably could refine this as to down here for what hasn't been hit. That was my target for looking to see where we're going to reach this morning, see if we'd have some continuation. So I had a bearish bias for today. So we'll drop this down to a 1-hour, take a look. You'll see I did take a few trades. And it is nice to, if you haven't already, obviously get your own nomenclature. I see I'm testing out H4 buy and sell liquidity zones. Buy side liquidity for BSL and SSL for sell side liquidity, which are above previous swing highs and lows. And then marking them out where they come from so you know where they're at as you drill down. So here's a look at the 1-hour. And you see that's about 4 in the morning. 6, 7, so we were definitely moving towards it. We'll drop down to a 15-minute, and we'll break down into where we're looking here. Actually, let's go right into a 5. So here were those two liquidity zones. So previous swing low there, that was hit before I started trading. So that's why I didn't have that on my chart. So that was no longer valid. Look how that respected that. So we got equal lows there. That was obviously a target which got hit prior to the open at 9 o'clock this morning. Again, all things are New York time. So that's why I had that already off my chart. Then we see we had another 4-hour swing low here that we saw previously marked. That would have been the next target. I did not trade the open, waited till after. So no trades executions. That was when we started forming. Here's exactly when that liquidity was taken out. So I did not have that as a target either. That was already happened before my trades were entered. But it was a point where I wanted to see sell side liquidity swept to get orders out of the way before we move back up potentially. And we see we did respect. So I was, as I said, bearish, and I was late to the game. I don't remember exactly what time I sat down today, but it was prior to this, or after this being formed, excuse me. So I wasn't around at exactly 10:25, or else this would have been a nice entry at consequent encroachment right there. Here's where I got in 10 minutes later. So I started looking at the chart here and saw the bias, started adapting, I wanted to see if I could get some continuation, take a quick scalp down into here, which is how I had this framed out. And it was literally a tiny scalp because I did not have more confidence that it was going to continue. So long story short, I didn't get my order where I wanted to. These will be videos as we see down the road of it's not always bright shiny roses. Trading is not easy, and I've been doing this for many years. Just adapting to the ICT concepts, getting a new year under the belt, shaking the dust off after being off for the holiday season kind of, and trading, looking for regular price action to come into play. So hindsight helps. That's why we do these reviews. Hopefully it helps you. It definitely helps me. This was a tiny little quick scalp. We see 47, 49, 25. I was out with only a unit because I saw these equal lows form while in the trade, and I exited as I thought it might revert back up because I wanted to see speed down here. We didn't get speed down, so I just cut the trade off. Didn't feel comfortable, so I scalped it out for a couple points, or a couple ticks even. And we see later it did not continue down, so that was my ultimate target. It was a 2-to-1 trade I was looking at there. Had I held it for the stop loss, but again, didn't like it, so I just quit it early. What I could have done after the fact is brought this over, then turn this into an inversion fair value gap. This is all hindsight. Once we closed above, I could have targeted a swing high, which would have been right here. We'll grab a ray, throw that on that swing high, tag that guy as buy side liquidity. That would have been a perfect little inversion scalp. Close back below. I mean, it could have even been a, it's a tiny stop. If you even want to put your stop below the low, we're still looking at basically a 1-to-1 trade there. A little bit better than 1-to-1. 5.25 points. That would have been it. I didn't see it at the time. Again, hindsight's 2020, so I'll leave that on there. Orange bean inversion fair value gap. That would have been a beautiful little trade. So I scalped a quick one, got out. Should have been done for the day. I was just going to be settled with that, and just missed the move I was looking for, since there was the majority of the move came prior to that. But I made a few mistakes again. At full transparency, I'll show you guys here. 47.53. I made another attempt. Thought maybe it was going to be one of those after, but big rule right here. New York AM session was done. Trade should have been done. Should not have re-entered. I did. Broke a rule. 47.53.75. 47. So I had a 5-point stop on that one, which I did respect, so I'll throw a short on here. I was looking again to take those lows out. Got in, where's our trade here? Let me get this out of the way. Yeah, see, horrible entry. I got in trying to, it's almost like I was chasing this one. Target would have been back down here again. That was the trade idea. Except for here's our up there. There's where we got stopped out. So I had it set. There's the stop. You see the blue X on the entry. So not a great entry trying to reclaim that. This was just trying to trade place. So no good setup. So that's my hindsight there is don't trade if you don't have a good setup. Even though there was a potential good risk to return value there, wasn't a valid entry. That's why that trade didn't work. Stopped out as I should have. So at least I had a stop loss to protect myself. And then, so that was the short, the cover. Shorted one more time since I was apparently very bearish on that. Thought it was going to get hit. Entered one more time at 47.55. We see here, same setup. Saw it did not happen, so I exited right here, 47.53. So I got a little bit back on my losses, but I told myself, so I had one scalp for a win, loss, and a tiny win, then one last loss here. I took one shot at it right before lunch was going. Stopped me out. Then I said, all right, Dan, enough is enough. 2 wins, 2 losses, negative day. Be done trading. Don't trade the lunch anymore. So I got off that, and I told myself, if I got the itch, I will scratch it over on NQ with paper. So I'll show that quickly here. I'm in my trade debate, ES trades. Negative 241 in the day on those orders. So you see the 2 winners, 2 losers. I switched over to practice. Saw a nice little setup over here in NQ on a 5-minute in the afternoon. Here I was targeting, let's get these off for a second just so I can get my bearings. Here's my target. Here's my, so this is on a 5-minute. I actually took these inversions on a 1. So let me drop this down to a 1-minute chart. Here we had swept lunch lows. quick rundown for a sweep, then a recovery. And then we did take, oh, excuse me, this was the 2 minute. I took this on, not a 1 minute. Get this dialed in right. Here we go. Okay. Swept lunch lows coming back, so then we saw another fair value gap here. This should be orange. Inversion. I use purple when I don't know ahead of time. If I'm just looking at a fair value gap and waiting for it to be inverted. So I was waiting for it here. So we wanted to get in on this trade, but as you can see, it might have been literally, yeah. So it did close above. This would have been the exact entry. However, would have been a stop loss, but didn't have it zoomed in quite that far, so I didn't like it since it reached up here, then closed back down. I did not enter on that. I want to see it close above and then be able to run forward. So as I'll turn these back on, executions, we'll see I did I honestly don't even remember that long right now, so I just want to talk about this. Is when I was going after. This was one of the last good trades. So this is in my practice account, no live funds. I'll talk about this one. I'll come back to that one, see if I can. Oh, I think I do recall. Anyways, so here's where it didn't close above for the inversion fair value gap. Wanted to play up to these highs here. There's a swing. And this was marked out from 30 seconds, so I'll drop down that. So entry was based on the 2 minute. 16,571, jumping over to NQ. We see I traded it right on the breakout. As I hover over, you can see the blue X right there. That's where the trade was entered. So I didn't wait for this candle to close. We already had a close above. I was just trying to get the right rally because you get some seat time, you get some feel. I knew these highs were going to get taken out. So I wanted to get the best fill possible. So I filled it right there, exited, and I dropped down to a 30-second to monitor the trade, which is where I drew my target, was from these highs. So I like to target equal highs versus a single high, which was here. Both would have worked. But if you're curious, when you see when I hover over the sell, it was right there, which was based on these two candles on the 30-second that I wanted to exit from my target to get out for the scalp. Let's see if I can look at, yeah, this was literally, I just threw a line in the water. This wasn't based on anything. This was, I knew I switched over to a paper account or / practice account in my combine. Knew it wouldn't count towards combine, so I just threw in a trade to get a feel for it. Then I exited out. So this wasn't actually based on any entry model. So I can completely ignore this one for you. It was a loss. Obviously, I had a long here, and the cover was down here. I was just looking to see how the market was, since I hadn't traded NQ yet today. After I saw the setup, I saw the sweep of liquidity, I was looking for another potential, so that's where this trade came out of. So, hindsight, long story short, 2 wins, 2 losses, a loss on the day in the combine, and on the practice account, it's already it's down 53 because I had that one trade in that was not even a target. So with the trade that was successful, we'll throw on the long setup there just to show you. I had it on the breakout just for trade management. Target was there. Stop was below the low. So there we have a still over 1-to-1, just a little over 1-to-1 risk reward ratio, 17.5 versus 15.25 for the stop loss. And this one was never in drawdown, just ran straight to it. So that's the quick and the dirty on today's trading recap. Again, not a great day, but I'm going to be fully transparent, show the trades that I'm taking just on my trade reviews, and look to get better. If this helped you, throw me a like. Got any questions, shoot me a question over at info@danstrades.com. Happy to answer it or throw it in the comment section, whatever works for you. With that, I'll end today's, and we'll be back, and we'll see you again soon. Just food for thought. Will not be trading live funds anymore this week. This is NFP week, or non-farm payroll. So after lunch today, which is the other reason that I switched over to paper, is there's no more live funds trading on NFP weeks past lunch session or starting lunch session on Wednesday, because the algo does not work as highly probable as it normally does. So happy for January. I'll be happy when NFP week's over. So next week will be a better start to more regular trading. And as we move into 2024, so awesome luck for your trading in 2024. And we'll see you soon. And remember, tomorrow is not promised. Live today. Thanks. Oh, hey, one quick note I should say, going back to, we had that target from the morning, right? We'll just go full screen on this guy for ES here. Target was that 4-hour way back there, AM session, you saw the trades, lunch session, PM session, oh, look where we hit. So it was getting there. It was just a matter of waiting for it and having the right patience and the right entry model. So target acquired, rinse and repeat, and look for good setups. All right, I forgot to add that in the main video, so I figured I'd chop it back in here quick. Talk to you soon. Later.